Om Sri Sai Ram. We are solving the problems based upon definite integrals. And yesterday we solved some problems, very simple ones. And today we are going to take little difficult ones. And what do we mean by that? The problems where we need to do certain substitutions. We are not learning anything new. We are not learnt any new formula. But the indefinite integrals which we have done, the same indefinite integrals we are taking with limits and we are calling it definite integrals. So what was the procedure for solving definite integrals? To evaluate a to b fx dx, now since we are taking up little difficult problems, we need to make certain substitutions. So when you make substitutions, limits also change, okay? So by substituting, the steps are consider the integral without limits, means forget about the limits, it becomes indefinite integral, and once it is indefinite integral, you are quite familiar with it. So substitute y equal to fx or x equal to gy to reduce the given integral to known form. Why do we substitute? Because directly we will not be able to do it. Directly we cannot find the integral. So we make suitable substitutions so that we have a function which can be integrated directly either by using a formula or by a particular method. Integrate the new integrand with respect to new variable. Since we have made a substitution, so the variable is no more x. Variable becomes whatever you have substituted, t or anything. Resubstitute, okay, integrate the new integrand respect to the new variable without mentioning the constant of integration. Since we are doing definite integral, there is no need to add constant of integration. The next, resubstitute the new variable, write the answer in terms of original variable. Once we have solved it, substitute back whatever you have assumed and then find the values of answer to obtained in 3 at the given limits of the integral and find the difference of the values at the upper and lower limit. What do we do? What way it is different than indefinite integrals? We substitute the limits. First we substitute upper limit minus lower limit and get exact value. Yes, we are directly coming to the exercise 7.10, 7.10, and we will be doing these problems today, and you can see that the problems are not direct. We need to make some effort. We need to make certain substitutions. So let us begin with the first one. How do you solve this? 0 to pi by 2, these are the limits, okay? Under root of sec phi into cos to the power 5 phi d phi. What kind of substitution we can make so that function can be integrated? We have sec phi and cos phi. There is a small mistake in writing the problem. The original problem is 0 to pi by 2 under root of sin phi into cos to the power 5 phi d phi. You can refer to the textbook. So this is our question. So what do? We need to substitute. So what is that we will substitute? We will put sin phi equal to t. So we will get cos phi d phi equal to dt. But as I was mentioning, whenever we make substitution, we also need to change the limits. So how do we change the limits? Substitute. When phi is equal to 0, t is equal to 0. Because sin 0 is 0. When phi is equal to pi by 2, t is equal to sine pi by 2 is 1. So now our question gets changed into 0 to 1. We have made a substitution sin phi as t. So this becomes root t. And then we get cos phi d phi as dt. This cos to the power 5 phi can be written as cos to the power 4 phi into cos phi d phi. And this can be substituted as, and this can be changed in terms of t. So how do you change it? 0 to 1 root t. This can be written as 1 minus sine square phi whole square. Cos phi d phi becomes dt. Sin phi we have taken as t. So the problem becomes integration of 0 to 1 under root of t 1 minus t square. Sin phi we took it as t, so 1 minus t square whole square dt. Now what we do is we open the bracket. So I can be written as 0 to 1 under root of t, and then open this bracket. We will apply a minus b whole square formula. As a result, we get 1 plus t to the power 4 minus 2t square dt. Open each of the terms. 0 to 1, root t means t to the power 1 by 2 plus t to the power 4 plus half 9 by 2 minus 2 square and half, it becomes t to the power 5 by 2 dt. We know the integral of x to the power n as x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So for t to the power half, it will become t to the power half plus 1 by half plus 1. Half plus 1 is 3 by 2. So this can be written as 2 by 3 t to the power 3 by 2 plus, for 9 by 2, it will become 11 by 2. So it will become 2 by 11 t to the power 11 by 2 minus 2 t to the power 7 by 2. So it will become 2 by 7 t to the power 7 by 2. And the limits are 0 to 1. So we have completed the integration, and the function was very simple polynomial function. Integral of x to the power n is x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So that's what we used. Now substitute the upper limit. So this becomes 2 by 3. Upper limit is 1. So it will become 1 plus 2 by 11. Again t is 1, so it is just 2 by 11 only, minus, this is also 1, so it will become 4 by 7. Simplify. So we have 3 into 11 into 7. Divide with 3, 11 7s are 72, 11 7s are 77, 77 into 2, 154. Plus, with divide with 11, 7 3s are 21, 21 2s are 42. Divide with 7, we will get 33, 33 into 4, 3 4s are 12. 3 4s are 12 plus 1. Divide with 7, 11 3s are 33, or 4 3s are 12, 12 2s are 10, 120, 132. Simplify. 154 plus 42, it is 196 minus 132 divided by 7 3s are 21, 21 plus 2 23, 6 minus 2 4, 9 minus 3 6 by 231. That is the answer. So this is how we are going to solve the problems by the help of suitable substitutions. Let us move to the next problem. Yes, this is the next problem. What is it? 0 to 2x under root of x plus 2 dx. It's quite simple compared to the previous one, but in the same time we need to make a substitution. So what is the substitution which we can make? We can substitute here, put x plus 2 equal to t. So what happens? X is equal to t minus 2. What is dx? Equal to dt. Limits. When x is 0, when you substitute x equal to 0, you get t equal to 2. When we substitute x equal to 2, you are going to get t equal to 4. As a result, this integral can be written as, limits are changing now, instead of 0 to 2, it is 2 to 4. X, what is the value of x we got? T minus 2 into under root of t. What is the value of dx we got? dt. So it is quite simple now. Open the bracket. So it will be t to 4. Root 2 into t, it will become t to the power 3 by 2 minus 2 into t to the power 1 by 2 dt. Same polynomial function, integral of x to the power n is equal to x to the power n plus 1 by n plus 1. So for t to the power 3 by 2, it is going to be t to the power 5 by 2 minus 2 into, for t to the power half, it will become 3 by 2, so it will become 2 by 3, 2 to 4. We have completed integration. What is the last step? Substitute the limits. First substitute upper limit. In place of t, substitute 4. So what do you get? 2 by 5 t. T is how much? 4. So 4 to the power 5 by 2 minus 4 by 3, 4 to the power 3 by 2. We have substituted upper limit minus lower limit. So minus 2 by 5 t to the power, t is what? 2. 2 to the power 5 by 2. This minus will become plus and you will have 4 by 3 t, 2 to the power 3 by 2. Simplify it. 4 to the power 5 by 2. It is 4 square and then 4 to the power half. 4 square is 16. 16 into 2 is 32. 32 into 2 is 64. So it is basically 64 by 5 minus 4 to the power 3 by 2. Means it is 4 and 4 to the power half. 4 to the power half will become 2. 2 into 4 will become 8. 8 into 4 it will become 32. So it is 32 by 3. 4 to the power 3 by 2 is 4. 4 to the power half. So 4 to the power half is 2. 2 into 4, 8. 8 into, already 4 is there, so 32 by 3. 2 to the power 5 by 2. 2 square. 2 square is 4. 4 into 2, 8. Finally, we have 2 into 4, 8 by 3 root 2. You have to put them together. These two are with root 2, these two are without root 2, so solve them separately. Take the LCM. Three fours are 12. 3 6 are 18 plus 1 19. 5 2s are 10. Minus, here we have 5 into 3. So 3 8s are 24. Remember this minus sign we have put outside, so this also will become minus 5 8s are 40. Simplify further. This is 32 by 15 minus 24 minus 40 is minus 16. Minus 16 plus minus, it will become plus 16 by 15 root 2. If you wish, you can take 16 by 15 common. What will be left? Here it will be 2 plus root 2. So this is the answer. So this is how, by suitable substitution, we are able to solve problems of definite integral. Let us move to the next. Come to an interesting problem where we have denominator as a quadratic polynomial. You recollect, we have studied such problems in indefinite integral. The same procedure will be followed. Basically, what we would like to do, we try to write the denominator as sum or difference of two squares. How do we do that? Take it separately. We have x plus 4 minus x square. This is the given function. So what you do, take negative sign common. You can write it as x square minus x minus 4. This can be written as a square minus 2 into x into 1 by 2, so that it will become 2ab. 2 and 2 cancel, it is x 2ab plus b square minus b square, because we are adding, we have to subtract, and then minus 4. So from here till here, it is a complete square. This can be written as x minus 1 by 2 whole square. Club these two terms. This is minus 1 by 4, this is minus 4. So it can be written as minus 17 by 4. Now what you do is, while doing it, take this negative sign inside. So this integral can be written as 0 to 2 dx upon 17 by 4 can be written as root 17 by 2 whole square. Root 17 by 2 whole square minus x minus half whole square. Now recollect the formula. Which formula? We have learned integral of dx upon a square minus x square. What is this integral? It is equal to 1 by 2a log a plus x upon a minus x. That is the integral. So use that formula. In place of a, we have root 17 by 2. So, we will get 1 by 2a. So, 1 by 2 into root 17 by 2 log a plus x, root 17 by 2 plus x. In place of x, we have got x minus half upon root 17 by 2 minus x. So it is minus x plus half. Now we need to simplify. If we simplify, we'll get the answer. Here what happens? 1 by 2a, so these two will get cancelled. We have 1 by root 17 log. Try to simplify. You can see 2 is the common denominator. So we can write it as root 17 plus 2x minus 1. 2 will be there, which will get cancelled, whereas in denominator we are going to get root 17 minus 2x plus 1. This is the answer. Why this is the answer? Because we have, yes, one small thing we have missed. What is that small thing we have missed? We have missed the limits. What are the limits? 0 to 2. Remember, in this particular problem, we did not make any substitution. Since we have not made any substitution, limits have not changed. Whenever we make a substitution, limits will change. Here we have not made any substitution, so limits have not changed. But we have to substitute the limits. So first substitute upper limit. So what it will become? 2 2s are 4 minus 1 is 3. So it is 1 by root 17 log root 17 will remain root 17. And when we substitute 2, it will become 4 minus 1, 4 minus 1, that is 3, upon, here when we substitute 2, it will become minus 4 plus 1. Minus 4 plus 1 is minus 3. So it is root 17 minus 3. Remember, we have substituted upper limit. Now you have to substitute lower limit with minus sign. So minus root 17 minus 1 upon root 17 plus 1. We can as such leave it like this, but if you still want to simplify, you can club both of them. Take LCM and then simplify. You will get in denominator irrational. You can still rationalize it and get a simplified form. So I'm not doing that particular part. You know how to subtract two fractions. So subtract two fractions, simplify as much possible. Finally, you will get one fraction where in denominator still root 17 will be there. So it is called irrational. So what do we do with that? Rationalize it. Rationalize it. Let us say if it comes root 17 plus 3. So what you do? Multiply with root 17 minus 3 to numerator and denominator and then simplify further and get the answer. So I am not doing that particular part. This is the main part we have done. Okay. Let us move to the next. Is an again interesting problem. Means we have actually picked up problems different than each other. Initially we made substitution. In the previous one we had difference of squares, and here is a very special one. Can you recollect? We have done a problem, we studied a formula which says integral of e to the power x into f of x plus f of minus x dx is equal to e to the power x fx. This problem is based upon that. Now how it is based upon that, which is f of x, which is f dash x, we need to find out while doing it. So what do? We separate into two integrals. So do that. So this can be written as 1 to 2 1 by x e to the power 2x dx minus 1 to 2, or you can even avoid it. You can say minus 1 by 2x square e to the power 2x dx. What did we do? We separated into two parts. One of them is f of x, another is f dash x. You should be able to guess which one should be f of x. Try doing the first one. Try doing the first one as assuming it as f of x. And remember, here it is a product. Since it is a product of two functions, you have to use the product formula. What is the product formula? Integral of u into v dx equal to first function integral of second minus integral of d dx of first into integral of second, and then whole integral. This formula we need to apply in the first case. Don't do anything to the second case because it will automatically get cancelled. So let us do that. So apply that. Take 1 by x as first function, e to the power 2x as second function. How do we choose this? Recollect the formula. What is the formula? I late. One by x is algebraic function. E to the power 2x is exponential function. Algebraic function comes before exponential function. So that should be taken as first function. So this is the first function. So use that formula, product formula. So what is the formula? First function, integral of second minus integral of d dx of first into integral of second whole integral. This is the formula. So use that and keep writing this 1 by 1 to 2, etc. But we will substitute limits only in the end. So this is 1 by x integral of, now do the integral. What is the integral of e to the power 2x? It is e to the power 2x by 2 minus integral of d dx of x. Sorry, it is not d dx of x, it is d dx of 1 by x, because 1 by x is the first function. So how do you differentiate 1 by x? We take it as x to the power minus 1. What is derivative of x to the power minus 1? Minus 1 by x square. And then for e to the power 2x, it is e to the power 2x by 2 dx. Remember, while writing this particular step, we have integrated only the first. We have integrated only the first part. The second one still remains. What is the second one? What is the second one? It is minus integral of e to the power 2x by 2x square. That you have to keep writing. Minus integral of e to the power 2x by 2x square dx. Now simplify this. Minus into minus is what? Plus. This becomes plus 1 by x square e to the power 2x by 2, and it is the same. So this 2 will get cancelled because one is with plus sign, another is with minus sign. And what is left? It is e to the power 2x by 2x. And remember, we have to write the limits. What are the limits? 1 to 2. So first substitute upper limit. It will become e to the power 4 by 2 by 4, by 4 minus, now substitute lower limit 1, it will become e square by 2. You can take e square common and you are left with e square minus 1. LCM is 4, so this will become e square minus 2 by 4. So this is the answer. So in this way, each problem is different than the other problems. Okay. So we'll move to the next problem. Yes, we come to this last problem before we take up another subtopic. What is this problem? It appears to be different than all the problems which we did. What does it say? If f of x is this much, he says find f dash x. How to do? Very simple. What is f of x? 0 to x t sin t dt. Don't worry about limits. The same product formula which we used in the previous problem, use that formula to integrate this. We have t and sin t. So take t as first function and this as second function. So do that. So it is first function integral of second minus integral of dd t of t into integral of sin t dt and then whole integral. Remember the limits, we have still 0 to 2 limits remain as it is. What is integral of sin t? It is minus cos t. So this will become minus cos t minus integral of dd t of t is 1 and integral of sin t is minus cos t. So minus into minus, it will become plus integral of cos t dt. So this becomes minus cos t and integral of cos t is sin t. And the limits are 0 to 2. We have not made any substitution. Sorry, not 2, it is x, sorry. So substitute. So this will become minus cos x plus sin x. Substitute 0. You will get minus cos, minus of minus, it will become plus cos 0 minus sin 0. Simplify. So what do you get? You get sin x minus cos x. Cos 0 is 1. So this is the simplification of f of x. He is asking what is f dash x? F dash x means what? Derivative. Find out derivative. F dash x is, for sin x it is cos x. For cos x it is minus sin x. This is the answer. Answer is sin x plus cos x plus 1. So this is how we solve the problem. Just have a look, a quick glance that we have not done any mistake. The problem is 0 to x t sin t dt. 0 to x t sin t dt. We applied the product formula, first function, integral of second minus integral of d dx of first into integral of second. So sin t integral is minus cos t. We have missed out this t. We have missed out this t. Minus t cos t. And then d dt of t is 1. And integral of sin t is minus cos t. So minus into minus it became plus. So this t we have to keep writing. Minus t cos t. For integral of cos t is sin t. Limits are 0 to x. So you have to substitute x. So minus x cos x. Minus x cos x. And then sin x. And when we substitute 0 in place of t, this will automatically will become 0. And that also, that is sin 0. So what is happening? This 0 cos 0, the whole thing became 0. But here we have got x. So sin x minus x cos x. Sin x minus x cos x. Simplify it. The derivative of sin x is cos x. And then as far as derivative of x cos x is there, we have to apply product formula. What is the product formula? Derivative of x is 1. So derivative of x is 1. So cos x. So minus cos x. And minus derivative of cos x is minus sin x. So plus x sin x. Cos x and minus cos x will get cancelled. The answer is x sin x. This is how we solve the problems and we get the correct answer. So once in a while you need to check whether we have done any mistake while doing it. If any mistake is there, we'll get to know which can be rectified. Okay. So now from here we are slowly moving to properties of definite integrals. What do you mean by properties and why we need to study properties of integrals? Because by using the properties, the problem becomes very, very simple. By using properties, the problem becomes very simple to integrate. Okay. So let us have a look about 7 properties. 7 or 8 properties are there. Okay. These are the properties. What are these properties? Let us see one after the other. The first one says a to b fx dx equal to a to b ft dt. Means what? If you change the variable, means it is a to b fx dx. If this x is changed into t, dx will change into dt, but the value of the integral will remain same. There is no change in the value of the integral. That is, you can change x to any variable if the limits are same. A to b fu du or ft dt or fv dv. In that way, by changing the variable, the value of the definite integral does not change. That is the first. What is the next one? P1. A to b fx dx equal to minus b to a fx dx. Means what? If you interchange the limits, instead of a to b, if you make it b to a, you have one negative sign. Means what? Now let us say, for example, we have 2 to 3 fx dx. Anything can be the answer. Let us say the answer is f of x. So we get 2 to 3. Now, if you change into 3 to 2, what will be 3 to 2? Fx dx. It is going to be, function is same only fx, and here you will get 3 to 2. What is the difference between these two? it is f3 minus f2, whereas this is f2 minus f3. One negative sign gets multiplied. When that happens? When the limits are interchanged. A to B limits, if it change to B to A, it gets multiplied by a negative sign. Okay? Now what happens if both the limits are same? That will become 0. Why? Because you are going to be FB minus FA. Both B and A are same. So the difference is 0. Let us go to the next property. A to B fx dx is A to C fx dx plus C to B fx dx. What is this property? Now let us say you got limits 0 to 2 pi. If the limits are 0 to 2 pi, you can divide into any number of parts. Let us say we are just dividing into 2 parts. So if the limits are from 0 to 2 pi, I can write it as 0 to pi, then pi to 2 pi. Suppose the limits are from 1 to 5. I can break into 2 parts in so many ways. If the limits are from 1 to 5, I can say 1 to 2, 2 to 5. Or 1 to 3, 3 to 5. 1 to 4, 4 to 5. So in a given interval, I can divide the limits into any number of parts. So that is the third property. Next, A to B fx dx equal to A to B f of A plus B minus x dx. How is it? How it is correct? Let us see. We will like to know this third property, how it has come. Remember, all these properties can be proved by using the fundamental theorem of integral calculus. So look at this particular thing, A to B fx dx equal to A to B f of lower limit plus upper limit minus x dx. How both are equal you will know. This integral, take it as capital Fx and substitute A to B, you will get capital FB minus FA. And do the same thing for this, take A plus B minus x as t. You will get minus dx equal to dt, one negative sign will come. And then when we substitute, you will get the same answer FB minus FA. Now, let us move to the fourth one, which is just like this. Instead of A to B, it is 0 to A. And it says 0 to A, f of A minus x. So this is nothing but the special case of P3. Okay. We come to P5. We have 3 more to discuss. What is this particular formula? Something like 0 to 2 pi. So 0 to 2a, if it is more, double, it can be separated into 2. How? 0 to a fx dx and 0 to a f of 2a minus x dx. Remember, all these proofs are just based upon fundamental theorem of integral calculus. This is very interesting because in one case it becomes 2 times, in another case the whole integral becomes 0. When f of 2a minus x is fx, it becomes 2 times. When f of 2a minus x becomes minus fx, it becomes 0. In the same manner, the last one about even and odd function. How do you say a function is even? If f of minus x is fx, it is even. If f of minus x is minus fx, it is called odd. So if it is even, minus a to a fx dx becomes 2 times if it is even function. Whereas, if the function is odd, odd means what? F of minus x is minus fx, it becomes 0. So please learn these properties. Tomorrow, we will be solving problems based upon these properties. Okay? So with this, we come to a close of this particular session, and tomorrow we will be ending the definite integrals by doing the problems of the last exercise. Thank you. Sai Ram.